Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, I want to talk about the death of Harvey Pollack, who died June 23rd this year. He died at the age of 93, a very special number. And who he was the shot clock manager for the Philadelphia 76ers. He'd been the shot clock manager with that team since the very first season of the National Basketball Association 46-47, back when the team was the Philadelphia Warriors, who won the very first NBA championship way back when. He is the only person remaining in the league that is employed by the league who has been with them since their very beginning. So think about that. A special person in league history, already on sports radio, sports television. They're calling for him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Starting in 46, that means he completed 68 full seasons with the league. 68. And again, his death comes at the age of 93, a very special number. Notice that he was born March 9th. In the United States, we'd write that date 3/9, but lots of parts of the world write the day before the month, so 9/3. Both numbers very much connected to his birthday. On this specific video blog that you're watching, I've documented the deaths of many celebrities, many people, and I show how often they connect to the numbers 39 and 93, which are numbers worshipped by Thelema, the old occult religion about do what thou wilt. Also, Saturn equals 93, and much of these deaths seem to have to do with Saturn worship. So we'll look at what's curious about Harvey Pollack's death, and I want to show you how it connects to the NBA Finals that just concluded days before his death. His name in Pythagorean gematria, Harvey's a 34 name, Pollack a 25 name, put it together 59. This number has to do with lots of negative things, including slavery. And in this case, it seems Harvey Pollack might have been a slave to the clock. His date of birth, March 9th, 22, has a connection to the number 34, which is the ninth Fibonacci number. Recall the name Harvey has a gematria of 34. His birthday also produces numerology of 26, the God number, and 53, a number connected to religion. The word religion has a Pythagorean gematria of 53. If you haven't seen my post on the Sea of Galilee, please check that out. Important number in religion, 53. He died June 23rd, 2015. This date has lots of interesting numerology. Connects to the finals and Thelema and more. Numerology of 1964. This year's NBA Finals began on June 4th. Talk more about that. With the abbreviated method, a numerology of 44. I call this the kill number. So often death has to do with 44. The word kill has a simple English gematria of 44. Also, this year's NBA Finals had a number of 44 connections. The Cleveland Cavaliers were in their 44th year of existence. The nickname King James has a Pythagorean gematria of 44, the nickname for LeBron James. 44 has also been huge in sports this year. The New England Patriots won the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year in their 44th year of being in their conference. They defeated the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts to get to the Super Bowl. It was the Baltimore Colts who had won the Super Bowl 44 years earlier. In the college basketball championship this year, Coach K won with Duke. Coach K is born on Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year. He defeated Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a gematria of 44. Their star player wore the number 44. Their star player who wore the 44 had an April 4th birthday, if you can believe it. There's more than that, Truth Seeker. 44 has been consistent in every major sporting event this year. True also in the NBA Finals. And then this man dies just days after the NBA Finals on a date with 44 numerology. He also died 106 days after his 93rd birthday, which is suspicious. Because 106 is being coded into very much right now. The recent church shooting, the recent Philadelphia train crash where the train was traveling 106 miles per hour. It was train number 601, engine number 601 on the front, the reverse of 106. Again, this man died in Philadelphia where that train crash happened on May 12th earlier this year. May 12th to June 23rd is 1 month and 11 days. That train was traveling to New York, which has a gematria of 111. Some of this stuff could be coincidence, but at the same time, I don't truly think any of it is. Here's a picture of him from 2012 on his 91st birthday. Or excuse me, 2013? Anyway, he's wearing this shirt, 32,872 days old, but who's counting? And that is the $1,000,000 question. Because somebody is counting. And that's why so many people are dying by the numbers. The people counting are Masonic Zionist Jews, the same people who run the NBA, the David Sterns, the Adam Silvers. Masonic Zionist Jews. I just did a post on why 39 and 93 is so heavily coded into this nation and how it all traces back to the Jews. Of 39 books in the Old Testament, they've established the same numbers in their modern-day country, Israel, where Congress is called Neset, which has a Pythagorean gematria of 93, simple English of 93. They're obsessed with these numbers. It's their giveaway. When you learn to decode, it becomes undeniable. From the date of Harvey's birth to his death, he lived 34,074 days. 74, a very special number. Jesus and cross equals 74. Jesus crucified at the age of 33, so the story goes. Only one state has a gematria of 74 out of the 50 states. Oregon, the 33rd state. Find these numbers coded so often. Here they show up in his death on June 23rd. And with regard to the date of his death, it connects to the NBA Finals in this way as well. June 23rd has a simple English gematria of 216, just like the number 155. And recall, the NBA Finals began June 4th. That's the 155th day of the year. 155 also has this gematria of 216, which matches Cleveland's area code. That hasn't won a sports championship since the year 64. 64. The NBA Finals began June 4th, 6-4. The college championship was April 6, 4-6, a reflection of June 4. Heavily coded numbers, Truth Seeker. So, in the NBA Finals, Game 6, in my videos on the NBA Finals, I said, watch, it's going to end in 6 games. It'll end 4-2. It was the numbers 42 that brought the two teams together. These teams played each other on February 26th. The Cavs won 110-99. LeBron James had his season high of 42 points. Remember the name LeBron James in Pythagorean gematria equals 42. He's on a 2-year, $42 million deal. Anyway, that game came 98 days before Game 1 of the NBA Finals, which went to overtime 98-98. Well, in Game 6, Stephen Curry went to the free throw line to put the game away. It was already over 98-89 with 101 left. While he was at the line before the free throws, it was showing the sideline, showing his wife, his family, his daughter. His daughter's name Riley, a gematria of 33, just like his first name, Stephen, which is spelled just like Stephen. I suspect he was named Stephen, and then they just wanted to flare it up, and he wants to go by Stephen to stand out. Anyway, 89-98 to 10 with 101 on the clock. All these numbers connect to the series, Truth Seeker. And remember, the man we're talking about, Harvey Pollack, this is what he did for his whole life. Manage the shot clock, manage the game clock. And if you followed my work, I've shown how often the sports clock, the numerology of it, is beyond coincidence. They're trying to communicate messages through scores, through times on the clock, when timeouts are taken, points are scored. This stuff is scripted more thoroughly than the average fan could ever fathom. But you begin to decode the work, pay attention, you see that something very sinister is up. With regards to this year's NBA Finals, they came exactly 111 days after Lupercalia. Lupercalia is on the 44th day of the year, has this gematria of 98. Remember, Game 1 went to overtime, 98 days after they played each other. The Warriors were supposed to win that game 111 to 100. But Stephen Curry and his teammates could not make the final three-pointer. That's why even after they won Game 1, Stephen Curry was hanging his head. He knew they were supposed to score 111. It was the script. They blew it. They didn't get it. Watch Game 1 if anybody recorded it. After they win, Stephen Curry looks super disappointed. He knows he did not fulfill his obligation. This league is rigged. The players are in on it. The refs are certainly in on it. The coaches are most definitely in on it. Maybe not every player knows, but the stars certainly do. Everything in the Philadelphia train crash this year was coded with 98. The 98th mayor, Michael Anthony Nutter, which has a gematria of 93. The doctor who said 7 people died, his name gematria, 98. The expert Amtrak employee who said the train was traveling 106 miles per hour, his name gematria, 98. Why? Because everything is being measured from Lupercalia this year. The church shooting, the gyrocopter at the White House, the plane crash in the Alps, the NBA Finals, the Triple Crown, the Stanley Cup. I have videos on all this. If it sounds like lunacy to you, watch the videos. Anyone who says this is loony and doesn't want to pay attention anymore, all you're doing is denying yourself the truth of what's going on in this world. I've seen since I was a little kid how rigged things are. It took me almost my entire rest of my life up to this point to figure out just how scripted it is and what the significance of these numbers are. I've always seen it. It took me a long time to do the work. Those of you who witness these videos, you're seeing something that was 30 years coming. It's amazing how many idiots show up here and deny the information and say things like, oh, you can get new numbers to prove anything. It's funny how all the fucking morons learned that argument. Then they can't prove it. All the people who've said that in the year I've been doing these videos, I've said, okay, show me. Not a single person's responded back. They can't show how. But they can all regurgitate the same line. Oh, numbers can prove anything. No. Wrong. Bzzz. Oh, truth seeker. In this post I talked about Lupercalia. I just want to show you. The NBA Finals, 322 Jewish gematria, 111 simple English, 666 English gematria. Remember, 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. Like Cleveland's area code, syncing up with the death of this man and the date the finals began. From Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year, to June 4th, 111 days, or 3 months and 22 days, just like NBA Finals, just like I said. From the date they played on, the Cavs won 110-99 over the Warriors, 98 days later, or 3 months and 9 days. The man born March 9th just died at 93. None of this is a coincidence. Throughout the NBA Finals, NBA fans were treated to a preview of LeBron James starring in a movie. If I'm a serious fan who spends money and thinks the games are real and wants to see my team win, I'm pissed off watching this shit. You mean my star player, who's supposed to be winning me championships, is also taking the time to go make stupid-ass movies? Well, it's better than that, True Seeker. The movie's named Trainwreck. And like I said, the Philadelphia train crash is connected to the NBA Finals, connected to this Lupercalia. Look at the rating on this, 6.1. If you don't know why that's significant, watch my videos. Talking all day about 61 right now. This movie comes out July 17th, 2015. Would you believe that's a date with 39 numerology? Also, 59 numerology. Number often coded on black people, having to do with slavery. Also coded onto this man, Harvey Pollack, slave to the clock. In simple English gematria, the movie equals 122. Golden State equals 122. San Francisco equals 122. Pope Francis, who's coming on September 23rd, equals 122. That Philadelphia train crash was at 9:23, a lot like 9/23 for the date September 23rd. Telling Truth Seeker, all this is part of a really sick, well-organized spectacle. Even the death of this old man. Here was the death of another old man right before the NBA Finals. Kirk Kerkorian dies at 98. Probably also a coincidence, right? That's what everyone thinks because these guys are so old. Former owner of the MGM, which has the Jewish gematria of 67. Number coded all over the boxing match between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao earlier this year. Documented that. Warriors had 67 wins this year. West equals 67. The West won the finals. The West won the All-Star game. More of that same documentation. Truth Seeker. Here's when I thought during the NBA Finals the Warriors might come back and win it. I posted this on June 11th. They put up this stat saying Warriors and Memphis series trailed 2-1, and look at what they put up for the stats. In the games they lost 2-1, they scored 93.3 points. In the game they won where they turned it around, they scored 101. The number connected to Philadelphia. What else is interesting is Memphis and Ohio have a connection in gematria, the number 47. Very important number as well. The first NBA championship was in the year 47. The Philadelphia Warriors won that. Now the Golden State Warriors. Harvey Pollack was there in Philadelphia for this, who now died days after this championship. This happened in Game 2, Truth Seeker. Cleveland went on a big run. LeBron James scored the 39th point, putting them up 39-33. Right away, this stat came up. Cleveland on a 14-2 run, and it just made me laugh. Remember, LeBron James equals 42. He's on a 2-year, $42 million deal. Both the Warriors and the Cavs retired the number 42 jersey of Nate Thurmond. NBA Finals has gematria of 33 and 42, the number that binds the teams. In their matchup 98 days before the championship, LeBron scored 42 points. So here we have the score 39-33 with LeBron James scoring the 39th point, and then they give us the stat right away, 14-2 run. Look at 39 and 42, what they have in common in gematria, 142. Now look at that run, 14-2. If you think this stuff's coincidence, it's because you're new, it's because you haven't followed my work, it's because you're a skeptic. Fair enough. But if you want to follow my work and pay attention to my examples, you will see that I'm not mistaken. This is what's going on in the world of professional sports ran by Zionist Jews who are numerologists, who are obsessed with these certain numbers, and who code them over and over and over. In the world of sports and more. Even in the deaths of people who served them. Harvey Pollack. They kill those who are loyal to them. Think about it. These people do not respect human beings. They treat us all like we're morons. And most people are morons, you know? You treat somebody like a moron, there's a good chance they'll become a moron. That's not true of all of us, but that's why so many people in this society are so pathetic. Because they've been treated like they're pathetic their whole life. So that's pretty much the message, Truth Seeker. R.I.P. Harvey Pollack, the latest to be murdered by this Zionist Jew gang of thugs that so desperately need to be exposed and put in their place. Adam Silver needs his head cracked. David Stern needs his head cracked. All these Zionist Jews who operate from the shadows need their heads cracked. Right now, there's a Jew third-party candidate. You know what day his birthday is? September 8th. I'm talking about Bernie Sanders, another actor in the Congress. So many people are deceived by this man. Yeah, his rhetoric's all right, but if he was legit, he wouldn't be in Congress. He wouldn't be in the Senate. That's what people need to wake up to. It's all a rigged charade. Bernie Sanders is there to give people false hope. In the same way LeBron James provides people false hope. My cousin's going to school in Cleveland right now. I just talked to her this past weekend. She was out here in Seattle. Man, she is hypnotized by LeBron James right now. LeBron James is a spell in Cleveland. People don't have a clue what's going on in this world. That's the message, truth seeker. You think this stuff's a coincidence? Then you're a coincidence theorist. All right, until next time.